The next part is viewpoint. Here we go on navigate. These tools. That you can see these tools in navigation bar here. Actually, knowing these tools can really help you in walking through the model that you're working, and they're really important actually. So they can help you to work on your model better, more careful, and nicer. So here in Navigate, we have some tools that you have to get familiar with them. And the first one, we have steering wheels, that you see some items in this part. That it will show you something like it. For example, as you can see the items, such as center, zoom, and others, for example. Or orbit, that we will talk about later. And of course, it has a sign here that you can just switch the file by this icon here. Sorry, you can just switch the move that you want. And by pressing Shift and W, you can just activate or inactivate it. The second item is called Basic Tower Building. This item is used mostly just for moving around the project, and it is the basic form of that. So let me close it. The next one is, for example, full navigation, mini view object, mini tower building, and also mini full navigation. You know, the first three ones are exactly the last three ones, but the only difference between them is the first one shows you a bigger circle with complete airform, and the second one shows you a smaller circle. But the most complete one is full navigation. And if you choose it, it will show you all of the things that you need. Of course, at the first we will talk a little about all of these tools here. And then after that, we'll talk about the items in this circle. The reason that I'll tell you at first we will talk about those tools is because when you learn some of them, you will just learn some of the items in this circle too. So let me inactivate it just by Shift plus W. So the first tool that you can see here is called Pan. That by using this tool, you can move the project parallelly just to wherever you want, like this. Then you can do it by mouse cursor too, like this. And then just if you want to orbit the file, you can do it by Shift plus mouse cursor, and it's been written orbit, as you can see. Of course, we have the tool of orbit here, and also again it has three items. If you choose the first one, then you start to orbit the file. You see it will be created in the middle of a green circle that, as you can see, it's been written PIVOT. That your project will be orbited just around that PIVOT, like this. So the next item is free orbit. That if you choose this item, actually, the camera will be orbited in every angle that you want. And it can be moved in every direction that you like. It is not just in center. You can just round it in every direction that you want. If you can just go back to the default, here on view queue we have an icon in the name of home. That if you click on it, it will be returned to the default. The next item, as you can see here, is constrained orbit. And if you choose it, you can just move your shape or project into left side or right side. Just the border of Z will be completely inactivated, and then you can just move your project like this. And even if I choose, if I just move my mouse cursor to the upward, it will be just moved to the left side and right side, like this. And actually, as I said, if you just press Shift plus mouse cursor, it will be go by default on orbit, the simple one, which is the most practical way of using this tool. Actually, the next item is called a zoom window. Then you have different parts again here. And then if you click on it again, just you want to zoom on one particular place of your project, you can just zoom it. Very nice. By selecting zoom all, you can just zoom all of the project. And by selecting the second item, zoom, you can just zoom in and zoom out the project that you're working. Actually, like this, as you can see. just to every zoom that you want. You can do it in a nice way. Actually, the next item is zoom selected. It is just the time you want to just zoom on a specific item that you want. For example, you will select on an item and it will zoom on that object that you've selected. You can select on every object that you want. It will be zoomed on that object exactly. And also you can just select that object and use view cube here, and it will be zoomed on that object that you want. This is really important to be known, that if you select an object and just you start to orbit the file will be orbited on just around the file you've selected exactly. And if you don't select anything, it will be orbited just around the whole project. And then just because I had chosen a specific point for it, and just if you want to change it exactly, let me just go back like this. Let me do it. You know, this point will be set exactly on that. Actually, the next part is look around. And as you can see, the shape of mouse cursor is like this. It is used the time that, for example, as the screen of monitor is like a person who is standing somewhere and is using the views of the building, which is nice. The item of look at, that if you use it, which is really interesting, you will be standing exactly in vertical side of that shape. But sometimes if you want to see some specific items, it is really practical for you. That exactly if you just choose and select the file, it will be exactly in front of that item and you can see it. And actually the next item is called focus. This is the item that will define the focal point for you. For example, you want to stand in this point and you want to orbit, for example, around this point. For example, you will click on this point and just you go on focus. And it will be orbited around exactly that point. Or just I can change the point that I want. For example, around this point. So I will choose it. Let me open this selection. And then let me go on this item. And then like this, you can choose everything that you want.